This was close-up footage of the kid who almost passed away until Neymar jumped in and saved his life. Let me explain. Back in 2011, Neymar was preparing for a game with his Santos teammates when security popped around the corner and gave him some pretty interesting news. There was a kid outside who was desperate to meet his hero, Neymar, and had quite a special request. Out of curiosity, Neymar accepted and allowed the kid to come in. And it didn't take long before Neymar got infected with his positive energy. As they continued the conversation, the kid became bold enough to ask for a special favor.
Também, se você marcar um gol, você pode fazer essa dancinha?
Qual? Essa aí, então. Fechou?
Neymar knew he couldn't disappoint the kid because he saw him as a hero. So, true to his word, after scoring in his next game for Santos, Neymar raced in front of the cameras and fulfilled his promise. Beautiful! And he even got his teammates in on the action too. The kid was so incredibly happy. It apparently changed his entire life around. After watching his idol celebrating especially for him, he got all the strength he needed to beat cancer. But I really wish I could say the same for Bradley Lowry. Young Bradley came into the scene when he was just 7 years old, and straight away he became a fan favorite. See, Bradley was a special kid because even though he got diagnosed with cancer, he didn't let it stop him from having the time of his life. Bradley's energy soon caught up with the rest of the Sunderland senior team, and pretty soon he had club captain Jermaine Defoe desperate to meet him. The two struck up an inseparable bond and became one of the highlights of every match week. But unfortunately, Bradley's health situation got worse, and although the doctors tried their best to save him, Bradley left to go play football with the beautiful kids in the sky, and it left Jermaine devastated.
It's been hard because I've just kept this in for so long.
Damn, Jermaine crying on live TV? Kinda reminds me of Dalma Maradona. Dalma's dad, Diego Maradona, was an absolute legend of the game. He won the World Cup twice with Argentina and produced one of the greatest goals of all time with his hand. Even though Diego played for a couple of clubs in Europe like Barcelona and Napoli, he became a cult hero at his hometown club, Boca Juniors. And after he retired, he made sure he didn't miss a single match and became so dedicated, the club even gave him his legendary stand. As Diego got older, his health deteriorated, and at the age of 60, after another heart attack, Diego just couldn't carry his own. And for the first time, his special seat was dead empty. Diego's death was a huge blow to everyone around the world that loved him, most especially Dalma. And it was pretty clear she was still hurting over Dad's death, because when the Boca players decided to pay a full tribute to Diego on the pitch, Dalma couldn't hold back the tears. Truly heartbreaking, man. But at least Dalma knows that her dad won't be alone, because he'd be playing football with his best friend in the sky. Just like Maradona, Pele's another legend who completely changed the game. He scored over 1,000 goals and won the World Cup 3 times. Pele spent most of his career in Brazil, and to honor him, the country made him a national treasure, literally. But Pele began to grow old, and pretty soon, his body couldn't keep up. And even though he was determined to fight on, it was just too much for him, man. And with the whole world watching to keep tabs on him, Pele closed his eyes one final time and threw the football world into mourning. All over Brazil, people turned up in tears to pay their last respects to the eternal king. And seeing all those flowers on his grave reminds me of the time Christian Eriksen couldn't stop receiving flowers after coming back to life. In Denmark's opening game of the Euros in 2020, technically 2021, but whatever, Eriksen was repping his national team against Finland. Now, the whole country had high hopes that Eriksen would deliver, but I guess the weight of expectations must have been too much to handle, because with just a few minutes to halftime, this happened. See, guys, while this might look like some dude who was probably exhausted, it was way worse. Eriksen suffered a heart attack, and for 5 minutes, he was dead. His family rushed to pitchside, and when they saw him lying lifeless on the floor, they just couldn't hold it in. His wife was in tears, but I'm guessing she said a prayer, because lucky for Christian, the medical team on the pitch acted immediately, and after managing to stabilize him, They rushed him to the nearest hospital and put in all the effort until Christian came back to life. It was a footballing miracle, and to show their support for him, people kept sending Christian tons of flowers.
Det var stort, at så mange ligesom havde lige pludselig en ting at skulle skrive, en blomster, de skulle sende, eller en hilsen, som de skulle sende. Altså, der var så mange, der var ligesom berørt af det på deres måde, som de så sendte til mig og min familie. Jamen, det er jo...
Man, the support for Eriksen was incredible. I even heard most of the flowers were from his new club, Manchester United. And maybe it's a United thing to rack up support for their own. Just ask Ronaldo. In 2022, Ronaldo and his partner Georgina came out to the whole world to drop some truly devastating news. Georgina was pregnant and expecting twins, but only one of them made it because their baby boy Angel went back to heaven.
No sé, es como que todavía no lo he aceptado. Y para mí está un ángel que me ha traído a la vida muchísimo amor, mucha tristeza, pero...
What a horrible story. United had a game the following week against Liverpool, and because of everything going on, there was no way Ronaldo was going to play. But the Liverpool fans were willing to set aside the intense rivalry to honor one of the greatest of all time in a truly special moment.
Singing "You'll Never Walk Alone" on the back of it for Cristiano Ronaldo. Respectful class.
Damn, I think I had tears in my eyes for a sec. The fans applauding like that? Hang on a sec. What's that sign a Liverpool fan's holding? Zoom in a bit. Subscribe to Skiller Originals? The fans hitting applause hard kinda reminds me of way back in 2008, when across the bridge, Frank Lampard was going through one of the darkest days of his life. See, after his mom passed away, Lampard had it tough. She meant the world to him, and losing her to cancer at the peak of his career, it was a lot to take in. But Frank was determined to honor her. At least Lampard's mom got to see him play and win titles. Something Abdelhak Nouri's mother unfortunately probably won't. All because of what happened in 2017. See, her son, Nouri, was just starting his career at Ajax, and he was already one of the most talked about kids in the academy. He had everything in the locker. The skills, tricks, and he even scored on his debut. Coming into preseason, everyone thought this was going to be Nouri's opportunity to impress. But in a cruel twist of fate, his entire world came crashing down in seconds. That was truly awful. See, Nouri's fall changed his life for the worse, because after he got rushed to the ER, the docs discovered that he had gotten permanent brain damage. And when the whole world found out, we were all left speechless. Some fans even gathered at Nouri's house to support his family. And seeing all that reminded me of the support they gave to Emiliano Sala's family after one of the darkest days in football history.
Estoy acá arriba del avión que parece que se está por caer a pedazos y me estoy yendo para Cardiff, loco, que no sé si van a mandar a alguien a buscarme porque no me van a encontrar, pero ya saben. Papá, qué miedo que tengo.
These were Emiliano's last words, man. See, after becoming Cardiff's record signing in 2019, all he had to do was fly down to Cardiff to meet up with his new teammates. But as soon as Emiliano got on the private plane, he felt something was off, just like the pilot David Ibbenson a few minutes later.
I picked a footballer up from Cardiff. He's just been bought from Nantes. I think it's about £20 million worth or something. He's entrusted me to pick him up in a dodgy Mirage. Normally have my life jacket in between the seats, but tomorrow we're wearing the life jacket, that's for sure. This aircraft, I think it's got to go back in the hangar. Might be your last chance to have a good old chat with me in a good old boat tomorrow.
Despite all of this, they still took off. But just a few minutes after takeoff, the plane disappeared out of sight. And after 2 weeks of searching, with ballers like Mbappe even contributing to the search party, the sad reality was confirmed. The plane crashed in the English Channel River, and the body found underwater was Emiliano. This was painful. The tributes came in from all around the world. Man, this was sad. To finish off, I need to lighten the mood a little, except if you're from Brazil. Remember the 2014 World Cup in Brazil? Well, Brazil was actually going great. They made it to the semifinals, but that's a match they probably wish they never played, man, because Germany gave them 7 reasons to forget 2014 ever even existed.
Right on it, it's gone through.
Another one.
Real trouble.
Another one.
Here.
Another one.
It's all
Another
queuing
one.
up.
Another one.
Oof, look at all the tears from all those Brazilians in attendance. One of the darkest days of their lives. But hey, some of them were smiling home because they just realized Skiller Originals had dropped a new video. And because they subscribed, just like you're about to, they'll never miss an episode. Incredible! And speaking of fans, have you seen our video on times football fans went way too far? Yeah, you definitely don't want to miss this one.